And we're back with 12 News on Assignment, and Toya Washington is here with me. We just saw Joyce's report on the number of police shootings nationally resulting in fatalities, and clearly those incidents have put policing under a microscope.
Given that intense scrutiny, we wondered about the impact on police recruits, of course. Here in Milwaukee, they're just days away from graduating from the academy, and with the help of the Milwaukee Police Department, we sat down with 10 of the 50 recruits set to graduate this month. We wanted their perspective on the issues they see in the community and what they'd like to prove to the people of Milwaukee. What inspired you to be a police officer?
It started as a child. It was honestly the first time I seen a police officer. I literally had to go touch him because I thought he was like Superman, and I thought he was like the coolest thing ever.
I went to Marquette, decided I wanted to do law school, but did an internship with the Milwaukee Police Department, decided that wasn't the best route, and I could do more good on the police department of the city I grew up in. And you know, wanting to do law enforcement, that was always a goal, to work where you live and, you know, affect the people you see every day, and, you know, and try and do the most good. And getting on the department was a, you know, dream come true for me.
My grandfather was a Milwaukee police officer, my dad's a Milwaukee firefighter, so kind of growing up, you know, watching my dad go to work every day, it just kind of always seemed like it was what I was meant to do.
Being a police officer was always a dream of mine, and I just wanted to give back to the community.
I always wanted to do something to help people, and when I had the opportunity to test for here, and that day I got the call, it was the best day of my life, and it was awesome.
I started off working as a correctional officer, and then I applied, got the call, and started from there.
I felt I had a lot more to offer in the world than what I was doing, so when the test came, I just took it to see what had happened, and here I am now.
Being able to be a role model in the community and being able to give back to the great city of Milwaukee.
For me, it's just about being committed to trying to make a difference.
The recruits tell me they know their decision to be a police officer was made easier by the support of their families.
My mother's in South Africa, and just as I got the call that I was going to start the process, she was diagnosed with cancer. On the first day when I got my ID picture taken, I got the text that my mother had passed away as I had my picture taken. So I think that was a sign she was happy that I got what I always wanted to do. So,
you know, my family was excited, but my mom not too much at first, because, you know, we've been here, grew up and born and raised in Milwaukee, so she's seen how Milwaukee has ups and downs and the different environments that we've been in. So at first she wasn't excited at all. She was always calling, worrying, are you sure this is what you want to do? You know, people are crazy out here. I don't know if you want to do this. But now the calls I get is all about, you know, I seen a police officer direct me the wrong way in traffic, you know, what were they doing? And, you know, she's more positive, upbeat. She's accepting of what I've already accepted a long time ago.
When I found out that I got into the academy, my wife actually called me at work, and she was crying. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, you did it. You got in. I'm so proud of you.
I was the quiet one. It was one of those, this not you. They would have never thought it. It was me, like Catwoman, Wonder Woman behind the screen. You know, like never think, you know, this person in the day, this person in the night. So that's one of those. So they had to deal with that, like, this is what she wanted to do. This is real.
Also real, their concerns for Milwaukee.
What needs to happen to make this gem shine brighter than it is right now?
A lot of citizens in the city don't take civic pride. I think I see that coming from Madison, is that they don't have civic pride, and I have pride to say that I now work for Milwaukee. I now, you know, live in Milwaukee. I take pride in that because this community does have so much to offer. You know, it's a great city.
Well, how would you make it better if you could, if there's one, you know, pie in the sky type of thing?
I would have more interaction with the children because they are our future. I would have more interaction with the children and the police.
I would fix the schools. I mean, lack of good public education in Milwaukee is killing the city. You're not going to produce, you know, great citizens. You have to have a good foundation for them for the city to build on, and schooling and education is the start.
The problems of the city weigh on them, but have not dissuaded them. They're focused on the decisions they'll have to make as they do their jobs, and they are well aware that some will be life and death decisions.
What weighs most on your minds as you near graduation?
It's, you know, you see all these situations where something goes wrong for one officer. It's that one situation, you do everything right, and then one day something goes horribly wrong, and then you've made a terrible decision, you're out of a job, you're incarcerated. I mean, that's always weighing on my mind, you know, trying to make the right decision at all times. And with this job, you never know what you're going to get when you go to a call, and you got to make snap decisions. And it's just something that weighs on my mind personally, just making the right decision when you are faced with something that serious.
Not every situation we're going to go to is going to be the same every time, and not every decision is going to be the same. So it's just, you just got to take all that training you get and all the experience you get from day one on the streets and try to put that to the best decision you think, and you won't know if it's right until it's done.
On patrol, you can stumble upon things, and then you're put split second into it. Either what should I do, how should I handle it, which they give you the training, but everything is different.
And then you always hear the term Monday morning quarterback. And so like, well, why didn't the officer do that? Well, he could have done that better. Well, you don't, like you say, you get sometimes dispatched, or you get this little thing on your computer saying, maybe it's a one-liner, and it's like you're just going on that, and then you got to go on the rest of your intuition and what you should do. So it's like, it's always sometimes a lose-lose situation for you. So.
I mean, we have to go home at the end of the night. You put us in the worst possible situation where your life is on the line, and you've got a second to make that decision.
And it's just that, you know, it's a split-second decision, and everybody else gets to take the time to think about, you know, what they would have done. And I guess I'm not trying to, like, you know, make an excuse, but, you know, I can only imagine it's got to be tough.
The recruits are well aware of the microscope on policing as they're ready to join the force. And I asked them about how they view the dialogue.
Well, we're the biggest icon of the government. Everybody sees us every day. So when something's going wrong, we're the people they're going to be calling to or pointing at.
I think part of the problem is in our society, everyone is us versus them, whether it's, you know, Republican versus Democrat, you know, whatever it is. People come in, they're so entrenched in their beliefs and thoughts that you can't have a candid discussion about anything without saying, you know, you're stupid, you're racist, whatever it may be. You can't express your ideas without fear of retribution for what you say. And if you have a situation like that, nothing's going to get solved.
Even if people in certain communities do see us as the enemy, that's why we should get out and do more foot patrol, interact more with the community, with the children, with the adults, just interaction, period.
Nobody calls us generally to tell us that they're having a great day. So you kind of have to take it as it comes. They're either in crisis or they need our help. So if they're calling us, generally they need our service.
We don't go out and hurt people. We just try and keep people safe and protect everybody. So I hope that clears up that misconception. That's not what the police department does.
Sensitive to the issues of race and policing, the recruits say they don't see color. They see a job.
Let's just put the best people on the job, regardless of who they are, what they do, or what they believe in. It's just people. We all bleed red.
A lot of people today, in my opinion, is stuck on what African Americans went through in the 60s or 50s, and that shouldn't be the focus. I think a lot of people need to stop focusing on, like I said, the race, sex, gender, and just focus on a person.
If somebody that may think you're an enemy every day, think the police are an enemy, still one day may need the police's help. So they can hate me as much as they want, but if they need help, I'll help them.
You can't sit in this group and not ask about the dangers of the job. One recruit in particular understands. His grandfather died on duty in 1974. And he thinks that loss helps him relate to those in the community whose families face the losses that result from violence.
My dad grew up without a father. When he was really young, he was 5 years old, so it has long-term effects on not just his life, but my life. It's going to affect my life on my kids. All lives matter. It's not Blue Lives Matter, whatever. It's all lives matter.
Facing reality is what they say their 6 months of training is about. Fair and impartial policing, strength and endurance tests, mental health and intervention techniques.
Best piece of advice that I've gotten so far is to keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut.
I've learned a lot of discipline in here. We all come from different backgrounds and different situations, and you get here and they structure it so that you can learn, get all the training. They would really get you disciplined and focused on the right track.
Always remember your training. Don't forget that they're always there if you need it. If you got questions, don't hesitate to call. Do your job.
Always write good reports. That's the one thing.
Always tell the truth. Always be aware of your surroundings and slow things down.
You got to treat everybody with respect. You don't have to respect what they did, but you got to respect them as a person, and that's the way you're going to get the best kind of cooperation with them.
Don't try and take a huge bite of whatever you're doing. Take it step by step, bit by bit to get it done. Don't rush into things, and just take a step back and be confident in what you were trained on and just accomplish your goal.
Pretty much integrity. It's kind of a one-time deal. Once you compromise integrity, it's extremely tough to get it back if you even do get it back.
And it's always have your partner's back and look after yourself. The man next to you is what counts, so look after each other.
This group represents 20% of this year's graduating class. They say their diversity is an asset.
There's 50 of us, aging from age 21 to 52, from all kinds of diversity, from other countries. We learn every day about each other and how they grew up, their culture. I learn stuff from other people every day. Again, I'm going to put that together in my knowledge and use that every day.
Sure. Me and Cedric ride together, so I learn a lot from this guy every day. He's got a lot of knowledge, man.
Did you teach each other how to shave your heads, or if future recruits do have any doubts going through this?
You just have that positive mindset. As long as you have a positive mind, you can get through anything.
Remember your start point. Remember how long it took you to get here.
Remember your willpower and determination, because every day in here is not going to be a great day for you. You know, sometimes you'll be down, whether it's coursework or whatever it is. It'll weigh on you heavy. But then you got to remember when you're just about to quit, just give it a little more, keep pushing, that you can push through it. So just always have that willpower and determination, because this is a privilege. Everybody's not able to become, police officers and be recruits. So you can't take that for granted. This is an opportunity of a lifetime.
I pray to God to let him guide me in the right direction. So I believe that he chooses his soldiers well.
I'll fess up. I didn't say it before, but I have had my doubts throughout the academy. Whether it just be a tough day or whatever. And there may be times after a hard day, after graduation on the streets, where things are tough, and maybe I'll have a little bit of doubt then and there too. But we're here to try to make the world a better place, try to make our communities a safer place, and try to help others. So.
And what do they want you to take from this discussion?
Appreciate that when a person calls the police, we are here to help, not to hurt.
I would say a big thing is just put the guns down.
We need to be a team. We need to work together. The community and the police need to be built stronger than what we are now. It's not where it needs to be. And that's where our level of trust, the respect, the discipline falls short of. And I think that's where we need to kind of build that up and get that together.
We're all people. We're all human, like we said. It's what we are.
I want the viewers to know to just give us a chance. You don't go to Culver's and get a Culver's burger and say, well, I didn't like this burger, I'm not going back. You're definitely going to go back. If you got a job in PR. If you have a bad experience with a police officer, we're not all bad. Just give us a chance. We will prove ourselves to the community. So whatever biases or judgments you have against us, just open your minds and open your hearts and just give us a chance. That's all I'm asking.
And my sincere thanks to the recruits for their candor and their honesty, and our thanks to them for the service they're about to provide for the great city of Milwaukee.
Some great insights. Amazing. All right. Well, and they did point out there's a lot of diversity in this class of recruits.
Yeah, the class is diverse, and the head of the police academy tells me that they're working hard to make the force even more representative of Milwaukee and the landscape here and the faces that you see. The recruits say they'll work to rebuild community trust, and they believe that will, in fact, help the effort to get recruits new recruits into the academy.
All right, a fresh class. Congratulations to the recruits. Graduation at the academy is next week, and thanks to you, Toya. And